It was a cold, gray morning when the first rays of sunlight crept over the edge of the city, painting the empty streets in a pale gold. The world was just starting to awaken, but in a forgotten corner, where concrete met overgrown grass and the shadows lingered a little longer, a small, shivering figure was curled up beneath a broken park bench. The abandoned dog, matted fur tangled and eyes rimmed with exhaustion, had spent another night alone, heart pounding at every distant sound, every passing car, every echo of footsteps that might bring hope or harm. He was not always alone. There were dim memories, half-remembered flashes of warmth, laughter, a gentle hand scratching behind his ears. But those days were gone, replaced by hunger and uncertainty. The collar around his neck, once bright blue, was now faded and frayed. His ribs showed through his patchy coat, a visible testament to weeks, maybe months, of fending for himself. The city moved on, oblivious. People bustled past, lost in their own worlds, barely glancing at the hunched shape beneath the bench. He watched them with hope that flickered and faded with every pair of eyes that slid past him, as if he were invisible, as if he didn't matter. But that morning, something changed. A young woman named Emma, on her way to the bus stop, noticed the dog. At first, she thought it was a shadow or a pile of trash, but then she saw the eyes, wide and watchful. They met hers, and for a moment, there was a silent plea. Emma stopped, uncertainty flickering across her face. She had always loved animals, but she had never rescued one before. What could she do? She hesitated, torn between her schedule and the silent desperation before her. Emma knelt a few feet away, careful not to frighten the dog. She reached into her bag and pulled out a sandwich, breaking it into small pieces and gently tossing them toward him. He eyed her warily, sniffed, and then, hunger winning out over fear, crept forward to eat. Emma spoke softly, her voice soothing and calm. And for a moment, the world felt a little less harsh. But then the bus rumbled down the street, and Emma had to go. She left the rest of her sandwich, promising herself she would come back. All day, Emma thought about the dog. She searched online for advice, called local shelters, and asked friends for help. That evening, with a bag of dog food and a borrowed leash, she returned to the park. The sun was setting, and the air carried the first chill of evening as she approached the bench with cautious hope. The dog was still there, curled up just as she had left him. This time, when she knelt, he watched her with a little less fear, remembering the kindness she had shown. She scattered more food, each piece drawing him closer, inch by inch. It took patience, an hour spent sitting quietly, letting him sniff her hand, whispering encouragement. At last, with trembling hands and a hopeful heart, Emma slipped the leash over his neck. He froze, muscles tensed, but Emma stayed calm, stroking his head and murmuring comfort. When he realized she meant no harm, he relaxed ever so slightly, enough to follow her from beneath the bench and into the open air. For the first time in weeks, he felt a glimmer of safety, something fragile blooming in his chest. Emma led the dog to her small apartment, where she had prepared a soft bed, fresh water, and a bowl of food. He hesitated at the door, uncertain, but the promise of warmth and comfort drew him inside. Emma named him Lucky, whispering the word as she gently bathed him, washing away weeks of dirt and fear. He let her, eyes wide and trusting, as if he sensed that things were finally changing. The first night was restless. Lucky paced the apartment, sniffing every corner, flinching at every creak and sigh of the building. Emma sat nearby, offering quiet reassurance, her presence a steady beacon in his new world. Slowly, exhaustion won out, and Lucky curled up on his new bed, finally allowing himself to sleep deeply and safely for the first time in a long while. The days that followed were a lesson in patience and hope. Lucky was wary, flinching from sudden movements, barking at unfamiliar sounds. Each meal was eaten with cautious eagerness, as if he feared it might be his last. But Emma never rushed him. She spoke softly, moved slowly, and offered treats for every small victory. A tentative tail wag, a gentle nuzzle, a moment of relaxation in her presence. Emma took Lucky to the veterinarian, who confirmed that he was underweight but otherwise healthy. She posted his picture online, checking for a microchip, searching for anyone who might have lost him. But no one came forward. Lucky's past remained a mystery, locked away behind those watchful eyes. As the weeks passed, something remarkable happened. Lucky began to change. The fear that had once defined him faded, replaced by curiosity and trust. He learned the rhythms of Emma's life. The jangle of keys meant she was coming home. The sound of the can opener signaled mealtime. The soft call of his name promised affection. He began greeting her at the door, tail wagging, eager for the gentle touch he had once only dreamed of. Emma introduced Lucky to the world outside. At first, every walk was an adventure and a challenge. The world was noisy and unpredictable, filled with cars, bikes, and strangers. But with Emma by his side, Lucky grew braver. He discovered the joy of grass beneath his paws, the thrill of chasing leaves in the wind, the comfort of returning to a home where he was wanted. Their bond deepened with each passing day. Emma talked to Lucky about everything: her hopes, her fears, her dreams. He listened, head tilted, eyes shining with understanding. In Lucky, Emma found a companion who asked for nothing but love and gave it back 100-fold. But the journey was not without setbacks. There were moments when Lucky would flinch from a raised hand or cower at a loud noise. Sometimes the ghosts of his past would rise up, threatening to steal away the progress they had made. In those moments, Emma stayed patient, offering comfort and space, allowing Lucky to heal at his own pace. One day, as they walked through the park where they had first met, Emma noticed how much had changed. Lucky walked beside her, head held high, tail wagging, eyes bright with the joy of living. Children ran past, and instead of shrinking away, Lucky watched them with curiosity. A jogger slowed to pet him, and Lucky leaned into the touch, accepting the kindness he had once feared. News of Lucky's rescue began to spread. Emma shared their story online, hoping to inspire others to notice the forgotten, the abandoned, the ones who had slipped through the cracks. Messages poured in, words of encouragement, offers to help, stories from others who had also opened their hearts to animals in need. Lucky became more than just a rescued dog. He became a symbol of resilience, of hope, of the power of kindness to change a life. Emma and Lucky visited local schools and community centers, sharing their story and teaching children about compassion and responsibility. Lucky, once invisible and unwanted, now basked in the love and attention of those around him, his scars a testament to the strength that comes from surviving and thriving. Through it all, Emma learned as much from Lucky as he did from her. She learned about patience, about the importance of small acts of kindness, about the way love can heal even the deepest wounds. She learned to see the world through Lucky's eyes, to notice the beauty in everyday moments, to find joy in simple pleasures, to trust in the promise of new beginnings. As the seasons changed and the city transformed from the chill of winter to the warmth of spring, Lucky's fur grew thick and glossy, his eyes sparkled with life, and his spirit soared. He was no longer the timid, broken creature Emma had found beneath the park bench. He was a beloved companion, a cherished member of the family, a living reminder that every life matters. On quiet evenings, as Emma and Lucky curled up together on the couch, she would run her fingers through his fur and think about the day she almost walked past him, the day she chose to stop, to care, to make a difference. She wondered how many other Luckies were out there, waiting for someone to notice, someone to rescue them from the shadows. In the end, rescuing Lucky was not just about saving a dog. It was about opening a door to love, to healing, to hope. It was about the small, everyday choices that add up to a life well lived. A life filled with purpose, connection, and the knowledge that we are never truly alone, as long as we have the courage to reach out and help one another. Lucky's story is not unique, but it is a reminder that every act of kindness, no matter how small, can change a life forever. It is a call to action for all of us, to notice those in need, to offer a helping hand, to believe in second chances. Because sometimes, the greatest gifts come not from what we give, but from what we receive in return. The unconditional love of a once-abandoned soul, and the unbreakable bond that forms when two hearts find each other against all odds. In the quiet after the storm, when the city sleeps and the world feels at peace, Emma and Lucky rest side by side, knowing that together they have written a new chapter, one filled with hope, healing, and the promise of brighter days ahead. And in every wag of Lucky's tail, in every joyful bark, there is a message for all of us, that love can find us even in the darkest places, and that every life, no matter how lost, is worth saving.